Hey, what's up, YouTube? Well, I haven't made a video since Monday, and that's because I think the video I made was very interesting, and I'm not quite understanding why it doesn't have more views. I mean, you would think that everyone with an interest in that subject matter would have watched it. But the reason I'm making a video today is because I know I probably won't have any opportunities this weekend since my dad has yet another 3-day weekend. So, I want to start out by saying that I am very distraught about the fact that my little ring, which I bought a couple years ago, no longer fits me. Like, if I was to put that on, it would be hard to get off. This little blue ring, so pretty, but it doesn't fit, so can't really wear it. What I'd like to talk about today, or document, is the fact that I've spent a lot of time this week on some dolls of Arnold, Shortman, and Helga Pataki, or whatever, from Hey Arnold. And while I know they probably don't look anything like the characters, it's the best I could do. You see, I've always had this dream of, well, not always, but, you know, I've been having all these Rugrat collectibles, which I don't want to take them out again because I already have on another video where I'm wearing this exact same shirt. So I've always thought they ought to have some dolls about this size of Arnold and Helga, and probably Gerald too, although I probably wouldn't have bought him. You know, it's a shame that the only show where they actually made dolls of the characters was the show that is disgusting and disturbing in so many ways. You know, it's such a shame because, I mean, there were other shows on Nickelodeon, but most of those were about children 9 to 17 or adolescents or tweens or whatever. And as a result, they didn't make a lot of dolls and little toys like that of the characters because most kids that age don't exactly want a doll of each character. And especially if it's a boys' show, which it looks like every show is primarily aimed at boys. So you don't really find a lot of good dolls of Arnold and Helga and all them. But I've just always thought there should have been some little collectibles, you know, like approximately this size or slightly bigger. But unfortunately, when you search for a doll of Arnold, all you get are these enormous plush dolls that are just ridiculously huge, and they're ugly. Okay, I don't mind the fact that they can't remove their clothes, you know, since a lot of the Rugrats have clothing that can't be removed. I don't mind that one bit, okay? Does not matter at all that they can't pull down their pants. But what does bother me is how huge they are. I mean, really, what kind of an idiot wants a doll this long? Or, you know, a stuffed animal that sort of looks like a doll. And they're just so ugly. You know, they don't look anything like the character on TV. So, you know, because I live in this dumpy apartment, you know, I just can't be collecting 12, 14-inch dolls. It's just too big. You know, I had to sell all my little stuffed animals from when I was a child because I couldn't fit them anywhere, or I didn't have room for them. So anyway, I don't really care if this doesn't exactly look like Arnold. It's the best I could do. And what happened was, see, I've always wanted to do a project like this. You see this skeleton? It's amazing. You see, this is what he originally looked like. I bought these cheap little skeletons from the dollar store. And I transformed him step by step into Arnold. And then I did the same for Helga. Even though she doesn't look that much like Helga, but that's a kidcore dress. I transformed the skeletons, and I kept the skulls. Let's see, where did I put them? But step by step, I've always wanted to do a project like this. You see? Here's the skeleton, and here's what the skeleton would look like as a living person. And I transformed them basically by clothing and stuffing the skeleton. So you see, here are their skulls in a bag. And the only reason they're not in their heads is because they don't fit. But it's easy to pop the skulls off. So that's what I did. And I used yarn hair. No, this doesn't come from Angelica, but it sure does look like it could have. This yarn on his hair. So basically, this doll, you see, there's a woman in California that sells disembodied doll heads. And so these are Sweetville, Kelly, and Tommy. And I just thought that for a football head, that was about the best I could do, you know, for him not to be ugly. And, you know, I had to cover their hands because they were skeleton hands. And I used these drawstrings right here for their pants and sleeves. And this is a pair of men's dress socks. So I did a lot of work on that for several days. Probably was a waste of time, but whatever. You know, it's better than me spending a ridiculous amount of money on some Arnold and Helga dolls that I know will not make me happy because they'll be too big and too ugly. So I think that goes pretty well with the Rugrat collectible line. And that's the other thing I want to talk about. I am angry right now. I mean, not angry, but just a little distraught, okay? And I want to talk about the reboot and why it makes me angry. You know, first of all, it's going to be CGI. Well, I have absolutely no problem with that whatsoever. I like CGI, okay? That's not what makes me angry. What makes me angry is the way it's looking as though this girl right here, you know, my favorite character, the crown jewel of the show, is being made into more of a minor character. Okay, and that's what really infuriates me. Because let me tell you something, the extent to which this character is excluded, this one right here, Angelica Pickles, is the extent to which I want absolutely nothing to do with the show. I mean, she is the show, as far as I'm concerned. You know, she's basically, in my mind, she's like the diamond in a pile of dog poo called Rugrats. You know, the younger characters are nothing compared to her. You know, she is why I was watching the show. And whenever she was absent from an episode, I would always resolve never to watch it again. You know, F Melville. You know what I'm saying? The episodes without Angelica are my least favorite because it's like she is the show for me. You know, I mean, I'm sorry, but the others just were what made me embarrassed to watch it or like it. So yeah, this girl right here, you see, before I had any of these other dolls, I had this Angelica doll. Okay, that was the very first Rugrat doll I had, and the only one I had for many years. See this? This is the crown jewel moment of that third movie I'm obsessed with. And that, you see, I don't have any of the others in the series, except the Bathysphere with her in it for obvious reasons. And what's interesting about this Bathysphere is, you see that? You punch that. You can ask her a question. Did you crap your pants? What do you think? Can you see that? Okay. And you punch it again if you don't like the answer. Did you crap your pants? Of course. So you see, that is what matters to me about the show. That character right there. And, you know, I mean, like I say, I mean, no one will ever convince me that she didn't crap her pants in the truest sense that she exists. You know, the only argument you could ever make for her having not crapped her pants is to say that because she is not a real person, well, she doesn't have bodily functions. And while I do understand that in real life she wouldn't crap her pants, you know, because she is a grown woman in real life, as a cartoon character, 3 years old, she did, okay? And probably not just that one time. So I don't really care. I mean, Cheryl Chase could get on YouTube and make a video to say that she would never in a million years, or Angelica would never in a million years crap her pants. because she never would in real life. And I would not give a crap. This is more of an answer to me. This is what I care about, what I think. And, I mean, like I say, I don't really care what anybody says because I've already made up my mind, It's never proven or disproven one way or another. But in the truest sense that she exists, like I've been saying for the past 9 months, she literally crapped her pants. So yeah, it's like no one can ever convince me otherwise unless and until they show me the inside of her pants, which of course was never shown in any episode. So yeah, it's like, I mean, you may interpret it differently, but that is what I make of it. That is what I make of what happened in the third movie, and that is what I make of what happened in the Clown Around episode. And for all we know, she may have crapped her pants in other episodes. So you see, and another thing is like, even if it were not the case, even if it were not the case that she crapped her pants on that occasion, among others, okay, that still wouldn't sell me a shirt or an article of clothing with her and the others on it, okay? Because, I mean, let's pretend for a moment, that this girl never crapped her pants, okay? Well, don't they normally force you to have Tommy and Chucky and the twins on Rugrat clothing? I mean, don't they normally, I've never really seen anything lately with just Angelica. I mean, not that I would buy it and wear it. But I mean, don't they normally have the other Rugrats on it? So you see, even if she would not have crapped her pants, or, even if they would have ended the series, which is probably what they should have done, long before the third movie, maybe even before the second movie, I still wouldn't buy and wear anything with the Rugrats on it. So you see, the only value, like I say, that a reboot could possibly have is something along the lines of this, okay? Or something, that I can easily hide and not go through life advertising that I care about the show. Because I really don't. I can take it or leave it at this point in my life. So yeah, this is the kind of clothing I want. Plain, ordinary, adult clothing. I will not be caught dead wearing Rugrats clothing or Nickelodeon characters clothing, and never would have. Because even if she would not have crapped her pants, the show is still disgusting enough that, I mean, even just the fact that she makes songs about poop, that in and of itself is enough to make her embarrassing to wear on my clothing. And, since when is it ever just her? Since when do they ever have Rugrats merchandise that's just Angelica? Like, never. If anything, they exclude her, the most wholesome character of the bunch. If anything, they make it about babies and their black friend, Susie. And that's certainly not what I want to wear, or have anything to do with. So yeah, I'm angry about the reboot, but not because it's a reboot or it's different. I'm angry because they're excluding the best damn character on the show.